Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into one of Vulnhub machines, which is system failure. The link will be put in the video below so that you can download and play on your own. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now let's start hacking our way through this beginner level machine. In this video, I'll be demonstrating several different approaches to crack hashes. As you know, as pen tester, we need to grasp techniques as many as possible. For sometimes a specific utility or technique cannot work very well. For example, in our case, a John Reaper cannot work very well. So then we can head over to Kali Linux. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target to begin with. Sudo net discover. Let's press enter. So as you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be recognized as 200. So what shall we do next? We need to conduct port and self scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So now we can get out its result. Let's scroll up a bit. So as you can see over here, I took the options of scene scan, the default script scan, and version scan, and followed by the -p to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Although a map can support other types of format to output, but usually I can use this option. And also you can notice the IP address of the target machine has been changed since I re-imported the machine into the VirtualBox. So this time, different IP address has been assigned by internal DHCP server of VirtualBox. This doesn't affect our application or our lab, okay? And again, recently some friends asked me, how to set up the lab. Actually, I have already made videos on setting up such labs, totally free. Okay, let's go back to the results of nmap scanning. From the nmap scanning results, we can tell that the target has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open ports. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first one is 21, which is running FTP service or file transfer protocol, and also its version information. So I think we can use such a exploit to check whether this version is vulnerable or not. Although there is one exploit coming back from the such exploit, but this one follows into the DOS exploit or denial of service. Obviously this is not what we want. We do not want to break down the machine. We want to get access to the machine instead. Okay, so let's move forward. The second port number is 22, which is running SSH service, and also the version information, including its exact version number 7.9, and also the operating system information Debian. Again, we don't think we can find any workable vulnerability for this particular version. The third one is 80, which is running HTTP service or Hyper Transfer Protocol, and also its version information Apache 2. Next or last two ports are used by Samba service. Always, there are, they will be together by default. Okay, so what shall we do next? I think we need to enumerate Samba service. However, how to do such enumeration? Maybe I can note down some discovery up to this point. 22 FTP 22 SSH port 80 HTTP service port Samba service, and the IP address is 200. So how to conduct Samba service enumeration? Samba enumeration. And there are major two utilities. The first one is smbclient, and the second one is enum for Linux. So now let's take these two tools to enumerate Samba service of the target. Okay, now we can use smbclient with uppercase L and then IP address of the target. We should provide password of our own machine to connect to the target. Okay, there are 3 shares, but the first one and the last one are default. We cannot get anything from such default shares by default. But this one caught our attention most. So we can use the same command or utility to access this share remotely. Okay. It's done. Now we can run ls command, just one file. We can get it down to our Kali Linux. And also we need to check whether we can navigate across different locations or directories. Name not found. So this means we cannot make such navigation or move around. Next, we need to check whether we have permission to upload a file. Okay, we can create test file, and then let's go back or switch to the first tab and use command put test. Successful. So this means we can upload file to the target. But although we have already got this discovery, at this moment we cannot figure out the way to exploit this, this capability of file uploading. Of course, if the current directory is in the root of website, and then we can upload malicious file like reverse shell PHP file, but apparently we are not in or under the root of website. Okay, so now we can exit from the Samba and we can cut out the share file. So guys, I left you access only here to give you my shared files. Yeah, we have already got that. You have little time. I leave you the login credentials inside for FTP. You will find some info. You have to hurry. So, of course, this message is left by the main user. And also we can notice this encrypted string. It looks like this is a hash, but before we try to attack or crack such hash, I'd like to conduct SMB or Samba service enumeration with the second utility enum for Linux, and we can specify the IP address of the target. Usually, I will use this utility to retrieve user names on the target. All right, it's done. Now, this command enum for Linux has successfully retrieved 4 user names: Valix admin, Jin, super admin. So I think we need to see whether we can capture or save such usernames information to a file. Then we can retrieve the usernames from the file whenever or any time. You can use the copy and paste way to save all of usernames into file using editor like Vim or Nano. But in case with maybe hundreds or maybe dozens of such usernames, it would be low in efficiency. So instead, I'd like to run this command again to extract this information. So we can, first of all, we can use the grep command, and the pattern, we can copy this one because I want to, I just want to capture these 4 lines. But also we need to, we can use awk command to extract this column because these columns are not useful and also not useful. So how to do? We can use as awk. If if a separator is space, I always use the awk. So now we can use the curly brace print. So which column? First, second. 1, 2, 3. I think should be 3. This is a positional argument. Okay, and I think after this operation or expression, we can get this part. But we also need to divide this string by backslash. So in this case, we can use cut with option of D, and the separator would be backslash. Or, we need to split this string by this backslash. Okay, and we want to get the second column. Oh, not second column. Okay, now we can save it to file user names. Press enter. And this will run the enum for Linux again. This will take a bit long time, but I think is acceptable, right? Now we can get out the username file. As you can see, we successfully generated this usernames dictionary, which contains 4 users. Okay, so now I think by enumerating Samba service, we have really got a very important discovery or information. But I think now we have already know that by this share file, we get this password, encrypted password, and this password is used by FTP service. So how to crack the hash value? First of all, we need to identify the type of hash, okay? And then we can crack hashes. And we can use different approaches. For example, online service. And also we can use John the Ripper. We can use hashcat. Also we can use Python, and so on and so forth. I used these 4 approaches most. Okay, so now let's try to crack the hash. So how to identify the hash type? And generally, there will be 3 ways: online surface and hash identifier. You know, this is built-in function of Kali Linux, and also we can use hashcat with option of show. Okay, so now, and we can, for example, we can use Google, and so hash identifier, and you can copy our hash value, copy, and put over here, submit, and identify. So, you know, possible algorithm is NTLM. Okay. However, if you use hash identifier and copy the hash value, you know, this will give you all possible hashes like MD5. The most possible hash is MD5. When I did the machine, I tried to crack the hash with this format or with this type, but it didn't work. Anyway, next, I'd like to use another way, hashcat show option, and paste over here. Press enter. Now we can get all possible types of input hash, MD4, MD5, and also NTLM. Okay, so now we have already got you know, the type of the hash, although we cannot make certain, right? So how to crack the password? Of course, if you use online service, this would be very easy and straightforward. You can get the result. But online service has some kinds of limitations. You know, we cannot use our own word list. As you know, in the real engagement, in most cases, we need to have our own or custom word list to crack, right? So online service, although it's very quick, if the password lies in or lives in their word list, okay? Anyway, we can got its result, but just I mentioned earlier, I'd like to show you different approaches to crack hash. And the next approach, we can use word list, and I think we have already saved. We need to save our hash value. Oh, not this one. We can, yeah, I think. Hit enter. Now we can use John the Ripper. Press enter. You know, John the Ripper, why I prefer John the Ripper to hashcat, because it can automatically identify or tries different hash types to crack the password. Although this is not always accurate way. As you can see now, you know, John Ripper failed to crack it. So, and next we can try to, sometimes we need to explicitly specify the hash type. If you want to know how many formats or types are supported by, you know, by the John Ripper, you can use this way. You know, a lot of different formats, and you can use the grep. Originally, I think the type is MD5. As you can see, maybe this one. So I tried to use this one to crack it. Cracked format raw, but failed either. Even you try to different, hash type like this one, none of them can work. Okay, so instead, I'd like to actually this hash shouldn't be MD5, should be NTLM. So next, I'm going to use hashcat to crack, and just now we have already maybe we can show. The type is this one, and also we can get the number, mode number. So now we can use hashcat. Attack mode is 0 or dictionary based attack, and mode is 1000 hashes and lock queue. Let's press enter. Because I've already made such crack earlier, so we can use the show command to display a cracked password. Okay, so this is the password. So now we can use this credential to FTP to the target, right? FTP admin. Okay, now, okay, there are several directories. Let's take a look at them one by one. Interesting, but nothing here. Secret, nothing here. How about system? We get the here, and also another subdirectory. Oh, many files. Of course, you can download them one by one. Use the get command and followed by the name, like this. But this will be very low in efficiency. Also, we can use wget and followed by the asterisk. If you hit enter, always ask us for confirmation. You can click enter, but every time this command try to download this file or any file, will want to get your confirmation. And this is also very low in efficiency, so I'd like to quit. So how to do? Maybe I can like to exit from the program, from the FTP. I'd like to set up the directory and go into this directory and FTP again, because I want to download all of files to this directory. Otherwise, our working directory will be flooded with so many text files. So admin, and we can copy its password from notebook. Okay, now we can go to this directory. Now we can use prompt. If you run this command, you will set interactive mode off. So this, will not ask you for confirmation again. Will not give us a prompt. So now we can simply run mget and or press enter. So all of the files can be downloaded. Okay, very efficient way. Before, I think we need to have a look at the last directory, useful, but nothing at all here. So now we can safely exit from FTP. Now let's have a look at downloaded files. Something system failure is low, playing game rating, blah 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 blah, and also we can cut out. Also, I think if you check size of each file, they are identical, right? So a bit weird. Actually, if you cut out any other file, their content are almost identical if you check, right? So actually, I think this would be some kind of rabbit hole. We cannot get anything valuable from these files. But anyway, we can put these files to one side for a while. Now what's going on? What shall we do next? We need to conduct, have you forgot the web application? Web application is running on the target as well. So now we can we can enumerate the web application as well. Let's put the IP address of the target into the address bar of the browser. So wallpaper, but the wallpaper cannot be rendered properly, doesn't matter. And also we can check its source code. So nothing at all. Next, robots file, not found. Nicto, we need to see whether we can find something by Nicto. I always use Nicto to enumerate web application, because sometimes even can give us exploit of web application software, but it's not this case. Now we can launch GoBuster to perform directory enumeration. Press enter. As a matter of fact, GoBuster cannot find anything else. To save time, I'd like to interrupt it here. So, when I did the machine, I was hung at this point. Actually, just now, although we have already got access to FTP, and also if you get out the usernames dictionary, the mean is username for the system, not only for FTP. So I think it's reasonable to guess that this user uses the same password to the SSH. Okay. Also, I think we can use the Hydra to crack it very easy as well. So let's use SSH, and we can copy its password. Of course, in the real world, the password for the SSH service and FTP service will be set differently, right, for security. But anyway, we can try to use the same password to SSH to the target. It does work. Fantastic. So now, just now, we have already walked through all of the directories by FTP. Next, we can go to home directory, Gene, but permission denied, Valix, permission denied. Next, let's go to, also we can run ID and sudo. And also we can find the perm. This command will try to get back all binaries with SUID bit. Okay, so here we can find this one, systems control. As you know, this very, very powerful command can start a surface, can stop surface, can restart a surface, okay, and so on. Actually, although here, you of course you can try to, for example, you can go to the website of GTF Obins and try to run these commands to try to elevate privilege, but I'd like to tell you, this will not work. We will have a permission error. Okay. Anyway, later I will show you when get the get or get make after we make lateral movement to different users, and then we can try to use this command to elevate privilege. Okay, so next we can continue our local enumeration on the target machine system, but permission denied, var directory, backups. So nothing here. Go to www directory, HTML directory, and area 4. Oh, also this one. Oh, this is a file, not directory. Some rubbish data. Area 4. And okay, we can cut out the readme. Nothing here. And go to the last directory. System. Or node. We can cut out this node. Okay, and cut out the useful. I think this is word list, right? So maybe we can download this file to our Linux. So how to transfer this file to our Linux? For example, we can use netcat, we can use Python. But here I'd like to use Python. So Python 3 is available. Python 3, the module, HTTP, and web server has started. Now we can use wget to download. It's done. Okay, so now let's go back. I think we need to continue our enumeration at the mean. So nothing here. I'll go to temp directory. Now I think we can upload Nimpier's shell script to the target. Okay, wget IP address of the Linux Nimpier's. We can make it executable, and then we can run it. In most cases, if we want to try to make privilege escalation or lateral movement, we should make use of this script to conduct automatic enumeration. It's done. Let's scroll up to see whether we can find something interesting. If we can, and then we can go further, right? Systemctl. So I think let's try it now. So how to do? Let me, we can create this file. And systemctl will execute this file. We can use the echo to create the file. Of course, also you can use the editor, but I just follow the instruction. Okay, here I think we need to make some modifications. I want to be, we can here just run the id command. Although, of course, our goal is to get a privileged shell. So I think we can run this command, change mode. We can add or append SUID bit permission to bin bash, not a cache. Of course, everyone likes a cache. So now we can paste over here. Let's go on. Install. Next, wanted. So the file has been saved to this file with the temporary name, and then we can run systemctl. So we got the error. Okay, it's fine. So what can we do next? Actually, we need to, we can use this download it useful dictionary to make brute forcing against SSH service. Just now, we create this usernames dictionary, right? So far, this one is, is accessible. So now we can try to brute force against this user first. And also we need to use the option of ENSR. This option is telling Hydra to use now as password, login name as password, also reverse the string of the username. Okay, so now we can press enter. As you can see, very quickly we got the password, because this is the reversed string of the username. So very important to use this option. Otherwise, maybe we cannot get its password. So now we can SSH valix and XELAV. It does work. And now we can grab the user flag without a problem. Now let's run sudo. We can run this pico command to make a lateral movement to another user gene. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I think this is the first time I encounter this command. Anyway, we can go to the website of GTF Obins to check whether this is a standard library. Yes, indeed it is. So then we can go to sudo. So I think here we can launch pico and press key Ctrl R and Ctrl X and run this command. Okay, so we are going to do sudo with option of U to specify the username, and let's press enter. So now we need to press Control and R, Control R, okay, and then Control X. So from the prompt, we can execute command. So then we can copy this line to paste over here. If you run command ID, we have already become gene user. And also, I think we can spawn a beta shell by Python. Spawn. Okay, so now we can go to home directory, go to gene. Oh, we can get second flag. Also above this file, we find secret file. I had left something in opt system. Okay, let's go to this directory, and there is one file reminder. A lot of lines, but the content are the same. System failure. So just now we have already tried to use systemctl to elevate privilege, but at that time we failed. So how about this time? And we can go to temp directory and run this command system again. So system, or not this one, system CTL. Okay, we can create this file with temporarily file name, and the extension is surface. And of course, you can use the nano or the Vim editor to create such a file, but I just follow the instructions what you see here. Oh, here we need to use this line because we want to get the privileged shell rather than simply run id command. So install and it's done. So now we can run this system again. Okay, this time we do not get error of permission error. Okay, so now I think we can get root shell. Okay, because we, of course we now we have already executed all of commands, but we didn't get our privilege escalated. However, this command has been executed when we run this line of code or command. So it means that right now this bash command has SUID bit on. So now because this means the current user Jin run this command will temporarily get the privilege of its owner root. Okay, but I think we need to use the P option. Now we have already become root user, and we can grab the root flag without any problem. So I think also there is this file. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a good day.